Welcome to the leading podcast for long-term weight management. Subscribe to the podcast so that you don't miss an episode. You can connect with Jenny on all social media channels. You can also sign up to the newsletter to receive frequent content and tips for weight loss success.
Hey guys, welcome to the latest episode of the Power Over Food podcast. I am your host, Jenny McDonald, certified and accredited health and life coach, and soon to be something else coach, which we'll find out a little bit more about today. I hope you are having a great week and life is treating you well. So today is a little bit different. I haven't had a guest on for a while, but I am literally super excited about this one. I connected with this amazing lady earlier this year when I completed one of her courses, and I was so inspired by what I had learned and what I had experienced that I emailed her and said, I have to learn more about this. I know that it can help my clients in so many ways and myself. So Louisa Havers is an internationally renowned Master Transformational Coach. She's a master manifesting teacher of the Helix Method, which she'll tell you a little bit more about, master Akashic Records teacher, and business mentor. So without further ado, I will let her tell you what all of that means. Louisa, welcome to the show. Yay!
Oh, thank you, Jenny. Thank you so much for having me. And hello, everybody. It's lovely to connect with you through the waves.
So Louisa, if we can start off, if you can tell us a little bit about you, your story, and how you've come to do the work that you do, because I know this wasn't always your path. So I'm going to hand the floor over to you and let you share your journey.
Oh, thank you so much. Yes, it's amazing what's happened in the last 5 years since I left my original path that I was heading down. So my background is I used to be a senior manager in social services, and I did that for 13 years when I finally left. And whilst I was there, I was leading on developing multi-million-pound services across all different sectors within social services. They're very good at going, off you go and do that now. Off you go and do that now. So I was leading on business planning, performance management in the last few years I was there, and community safety, which I did love, but it was very, very heavy subject matter. Things like, domestic abuse, sexual abuse, preventing radicalization, drug and alcohol, all that kind of stuff, which was wonderful to be part of and contributing to. But when you start to recognize that this isn't your path, and you get that little voice within of saying there's got to be more to life. And the reason why that had started happening was because the hours in the workday just didn't seem to end. I don't know if you've ever been in that situation yourself or recognize that. And I'm sure anyone who's worked for a corporate organization will be kind of nodding their heads and going, yeah, 9 to 5 is not 9 to 5. It's 9 to 9 plus weekends, plus all the time that you spend thinking about things when you're not actually officially working. And there were 2 key turning points for me along the way. One was my father's death in 2004, where he was ill health retired after a long period of ill health. And so he actually never got the retirement that he had, officially planned. He'd been saving to do all the things that he wanted to do when he retired. And this had started gnawing away at me because I started to recognize, I feel like I'm just repeating what my dad was doing, putting off life because I had to do this thing. And I recognized I really needed to pivot. Was going to require me to completely change my identity, to take bold, scary action because I'm a single parent, 2 young teenage sons at that point. And so my father's death was the turning point for me of thinking, oh my goodness, I am just literally just repeating his path. And I'd fallen into social services. It wasn't actually something I'd thought, I know this is what I want to go and do. I was just really good at it and had sort of catapulted along their career pathway with lots of success. And then the second turning point for me was when it started to get tricky, because within the public sector, we were having pay freezes year on year. So of course, you've got the cost of living going up. and you're not getting any more money, but the workload's increasing. And it's just like it ended up with me having a bout of shingles and post-viral chronic fatigue, which took me out of work for about 5 months, which I'd never had in my career before. And I recognized the signs from the universe, because funny how I got shingles, and what had taken my dad out? Shingles had been the first thing that had taken him out.
Wow.
So I was like, okay, I'm listening.
I need to listen to this.
I need to listen to this. I don't want to do this job anymore, as much as it's lovely contributing to people, and amazing areas to be working in, contributing to the local society. But I really just recognized that it was just feeling like really hard work. And I just thought, it's got to be more to life than this. I don't want to be working and just to pay the bills and finding that there's too much month at the end of the money and all that kind of stuff. This is seeing other friends who are having their own businesses, having a lot more fun. And I thought, oh, hang on a second. I want to have some fun in my life and to actually find out what my passions are and what do I really love doing. And so I actually I manifested my first opportunity where I was thinking, I want my own business, but what could it be? And I literally didn't know what it was going to be. Within 6 weeks, this business opportunity had landed on my lap, which I really see as the kind of stepping stone, that pathway that we, when you take action along that one stepping stone, it then leads you to the thing that you're meant to be doing. And it was through that network marketing business that I still have that as part of an income stream within my business, that I really unlocked my passion, which was coaching people, and recognized actually when I'm coaching people in the workplace, I'm loving it. I feel lit up. It's all the board meetings and the reports that are like draining my energy. And so that was the start of recognizing, actually, I want to have my own coaching business and to be able to really help people live at their highest potential and to live their passion and purpose. And isn't it funny how, again, with mirrors and magnets, that I know that I talk about all the time, I recognize that all the clients that were coming to me at work were wanting to find more out of life to fulfill their purpose. And so often they thought they were coming to me to have coaching around, going for a promotion in work. Actually, they needed to leave their job. When you're like, I need to take a leaf out of my own book. It's time. I've got to do it. So that was the journey. And then from that, I discovered along the way energy healing. And I guess because I'd started listening to my intuition, I was following those opportunities that were coming up in front of me. And I remember having my first pranic healing taster session, and it just blew my mind. And I thought, I went straight from having that one taster session, which was 10 minutes, to training to be a pranic healer. Wow. I don't think it's by half.
And just for our listeners, can you explain what that is? Because I know some people might be listening thinking, what?
What is that? So pranic healing is a distance energy healing modality, a non-touch energy healing modality. So if people have heard of Reiki, often people have heard of Reiki, even if they haven't had it. So you're healing the energy bodies that are around your physical bodies. And the physical body is just the one bit that you can see. And then there's all these other layers that make up part of your body that you can't see. So pranic healing is working on the energy around the bits that you can see, if that makes sense. And that was the first modality that I learned and trained in. And then it was like the gateway drug, as they say, to recognizing that there was so much more out there that I could learn to not only help myself in terms of changing who I was and what I expected out of life, but also working with my clients as well.
So what came next?
So after the pranic healing came the energy alignment method and then the Akashic Records. If people don't know what the Akashic Records are, that's where you're working. The easiest way to describe all these different types of energy healing modalities is to think of them as different frequencies and different levels of consciousness, if that makes sense. So when you're working in the Akashic Records, you're working at a soul level of consciousness, where with some of the other energy healing modalities, you may be working at different frequencies. And so with everything that I've learned, I think all energy healing modalities are amazing, and they all complement each other. Everything that I've learned from the different coaches and teachers that I've worked with before creating my own modality everything has contributed to my consciousness, of course, as well. And then through the downloads that I've got through connecting in with my higher self as I teach within the Helix Method, to really tune into that voice within so that you can find out what your soul is calling you to do. So now I work with the Helix Method and the Akashic Records, and my business has gone from strength to strength, and just work with the most amazing clients around the world, and feel very, very blessed that I get to share everything that I've learned along the way. I just absolutely love it. It doesn't feel like work, Jenny. You know, when you're doing the thing you're supposed to be doing, it doesn't feel like work. It just feels like a privilege.
Yeah, I can totally relate to that. That's exactly how I feel when I'm working with my clients, whether it's my one-to-one or groups. It's just a privilege that they've chosen to work with me and share that journey with me. And for me to be able to help them and see their changes is just, it's the best job in the world. It really is. Yeah. Like you say, it doesn't feel like work.
No, we're so lucky.
We are.
When I compare my life to social services day to what I'm doing now, it's like, oh my word, it's so different.
Yeah.
It's so different. I feel very, very lucky. So now I work very intuitively, and I just love helping people to, change their energy, change their thoughts and emotions and beliefs so that they can change what they're creating in their life, because we're magnetic. We are attracting to us with whatever it is that we're holding as you know, I call it human Wi-Fi, in our human Wi-Fi.
Yeah, that's how I've been talking about it lately, saying that it's almost like, as you say, we have to tune in to a different frequency to get a different result. And we can be on this path where our Wi-Fi is a little bit skew. It's just not, it's leading us along one way where we maybe don't want to be going, but we just keep plodding and plodding and plodding. And if we can just fine tune it a little bit more, connect in with our higher self, and on that different level, we can change the frequency. I don't know if that's how you would describe it.
Yeah, absolutely. But I always say the reason why I call our personal energy field our human Wi-Fi, or it's our aura, is because everything that has happened to us in our past, all the thoughts and emotions and beliefs that we're still holding in our field energetically. And because we live in an electromagnetic field, the universe is electromagnetic. So you're a magnet, I'm a magnet. And so what are we magnetizing towards us? Well, with whatever that is in our field. So the great news is that we can change that, thank goodness. Otherwise you'd be stuck, unable to change the channel. But you can change the channel. You just need to know how to. People often say to me, well, how do I know what I need to change? There's different aspects within that, because of course we'll know what our monkey mind is telling us. So we know we need to change that bit. But the reason why the monkey mind is going on, mouthing off at us and giving us a bit of an earful, is because of what's held in the subconscious, in that layer of our energy field. And so it's being able to tune in and find out all the unknown stuff. That's where I think is the real game changer for people, because often people will tell ourselves a story, because the subconscious ultimately wants to keep us safe. So it will come up with a story that's palatable to our conscious mind to try and to keep us on the same channel. So don't move off this channel, Jenny or Louisa. This is the channel you want to be on. It's safe here. And so we run that story in our head. We hear the monkey mind repeating it, but it's just because the subconscious is going, oh, hang on, my job is to keep you safe. So I'm going to do whatever I can to keep you not moving off this channel. Whereas when we are able to go, actually, there's loads that I can do around this. I can find out what the hidden program is within the subconscious, and then I can change it. So then the storyline that the conscious mind comes out with starts to change as well. And with the techniques that we use within the Helix Method is really helping to people to reprogram that frequency so that it's easier just to suddenly go, oh, I'm on the different channel. I've chosen this channel. I'm actually vibrating on it now. And I can now magnetize towards me that which is on that channel, if that makes sense. I always think of TV channels and radio stations and stuff like that, because I think people can understand it. Even if they've never done any energy work, people kind of go, yeah, I get that. We're talking through the internet, the Wi-Fi at the moment.
Yeah.
Aren't we? Not connected to anything. I've got my Wi-Fi in my office in the room. It's amazing. That we're just human. We've got our own Wi-Fi.
Yeah, incredible. And I think just relating it back for our listeners, I guess for the way I relate it is they're they're stuck on, let's say, BBC One, which is I can't lose weight, or I will always struggle with my weight. So when people lose weight, they're still battling with this relationship with food and they just can't find that peace with food. And it's almost like if we can release that belief and make sure it's cleared, and then almost reset the identity to ITV, where ITV is saying, I live a healthy lifestyle, I enjoy movement, I enjoy eating to nourish my body. And that's always what I've taken my clients through, trying to change that belief. But now I have the added benefit of the Helix method. It's like, oh my goodness, we can literally do this in a session or two, rather than doing this and spending years, if you like, trying to make ourselves believe I can do this. I am that person that maintains my weight or has peace with food, when clearly we're not. I've maintained my weight loss for 16 years. And it was only at the start of this year I realized that I was still stuck in this cycle of dieting. Yes, I wasn't going up and down stones, but I was still starving myself during the week so that I could indulge at the weekend, because I thought that was the way to manage. And I even told clients that, well, this is what I do, this is how I keep the weight off. And this whole realization that actually you don't need to do that. You can eat 3 times a day, 7 days a week, and you'll stay the same weight. It's like, whoa. But that comes from being able to change that identity, doesn't it? Just being able to reprogram or connect to that as a channel.
Completely. And the identity that we hold is key, because it's not just the identity that we consciously think that we hold, it's what the subconscious is up to. And I always talk about, we've got these different layers of consciousness. So we have our higher self, superconscious, conscious mind, subconscious. We need all of them to be in alignment and all working in the right direction. Otherwise, the subconscious is running the show. And we can go down the wrong route. I was using this analogy the other day because it just felt like such a powerful one. And I think everybody's probably done this at some point. When you get in the car and you head off to go to one place and you end up somewhere different, or you arrive and go, I don't even remember doing the journey.
Yeah.
And I remember going to pick my son up from the gym, and I ended up at the pub where my other son works, and he wasn't even there. And I was like, how have I got here? And I was just like, oh, I set off thinking I'm going here. And then the subconscious went, oh, I know the route, and took me somewhere completely different.
Yeah.
What I needed to have done was to be reprogramming at that moment in time. We're going to the gym, we're going to the gym, we're going to the gym. I'm using this as a very simple analogy, and I would have ended up there. But I share that because I think that unless we are intentional with what we're putting into our energy field and into our conscious levels, at different levels of consciousness, then we might not end up where we want to be. And it's just, I've seen it time and time again with my clients, and it's so exciting with coaching everyone in the Helix Method as well, as that, seeing the feedback coming back where people are seeing the results that they're having with their clients as well, and how fast it is. And it comes down to identity. The identity that you're holding is creating everything. It creates your reality, your thoughts, beliefs, emotions, the action that you'll take, and then of course it feeds back up. I see it like an infinity loop in the sort of feedback loop system.
Yeah, that's so true. That is so true. Wow. I was going to say, what is so powerful about what you do? I don't know if we've covered that or not. It is just incredibly powerful. I don't know if you've got a story you want to share, or just something that is just really, really powerful. I mean, I've experienced your work, and I've seen it in action now. I've started practicing the Helix Method, and it is just incredible. But have you got any kind of story or thoughts around why it is so powerful?
I think for me, because it's the way I describe it is the Helix Method creates rapid transformation, because it's dissolving energetically the trauma and the subconscious blocks in a nanosecond, and you get that instant feedback as well, that you know that it's gone. You can feel it in your body, and it then, because of the process that I've created, so that you are intentionally creating your identity within that, so that you make sure your manifestations are inevitable. Whatever it is that you're doing, whether it's losing weight, creating your optimal weight, wanting to have more energy, whether it's in business and wanting to increase your income within that. An example, one of my clients shared, she did a testimonial for me the other day, and it was always a light bulb moment how she recognized that it was one belief that when she changed that one belief that she didn't think she had, and it was around responsibility for bringing in money for her family, that she thought she was in alignment with it, and she had massive resistance around it. And when the resistance went, her business flew. She said she suddenly had people reaching out, asking for business, opportunities coming her way, etc., for collaborations. And of course, she was showing up differently because she had changed her vibration. And so the results that she was getting from the same types of actions that she was doing before suddenly changed. And I see it time and time again, is that moment where the resistant energy goes. And one of the things to help people understand in terms of, because often people will think, if I'm feeling resistant about something, perhaps I shouldn't be doing it. Perhaps it's a sign that I'm meant to go in another direction. And I'd say, no, that's not a sign you should go in the right. Probably a sign you're going in the right direction. And it's the subconscious trying to keep you safe because it hasn't got the sat-nav pathway for it, because it doesn't know what the outcome is going to be. And I always talk about there being 3 states of energy, and all the energy modalities talk about resistant energy, reversed energy, and being in flow. But I think it's helpful just for everyone to kind of recognize, okay, at any point in my life, on any subject matter, there will be different parts of me that are in flow. That's the energy that we want more and more of ourselves to be in, where we're going with the flow, everything feels really easy. We're attracting things that are on the channel that we want to attract. And then we can have things where we're in this resistant energy as well. So where the subconscious is trying to keep us safe. So there's that kind of resistance. And where we will have beliefs, thoughts and emotions that will bubble up that are trying to take us back out of the game. And what will happen is we'll start to feel like we're making 2 steps forwards, 3 steps back. Does that make sense? So
yes,
it feels, everyone goes, oh yeah, I know that one. I feel like I'm going in the right direction, but it just feels like hard work. And then we have reversed energy, which is where it's like the energy fields, things, traumatic events, and they can be like small traumas or larger traumas that have created like a block. People often talk about blocks or feeling stuck. And I call this reversed energy, where the energy flow is just stopped. And that can feel like we're going backwards in the wrong direction. And it's as you start to clear up your energy field by working on your thoughts and emotions and beliefs, that you can start to have these quantum leaps and surprise yourself with how quickly things can change when what you've been working on is your energy field.
Do you know what? So I released a really huge reversal working with somebody else from the Helix Method over the weekend. And I didn't even know I had this block. And what's crazy is it was about time and not having enough time. And it wasn't even what we had set out to talk about, but the person I was practicing with picked up on something I'd said about time and said, I wonder if you've got some sort of resistance there to having enough time to fill this, to do this, what I was talking about. Anyway, we realized that it was the reversal. So we cleared the reversal, we went through the process and released this. And it was super, super powerful experience. And I won't go into great detail, but I was quite emotional because it was just like it had gone. It was like it left me. And ever since, I've been completely back in flow and feel like I'm literally buzzing. I mean, when you said hello, I was like, hi, I'm amazing. You said, how are you? And I was like, I'm amazing. And I'm completely back in flow. And it's like the school rush this morning wasn't there. It was like, come on, I never once said to Nancy, come on, we've got to be quick. Or even though I was conscious of the time, I wasn't like, this isn't a rush. I was like, it will work out. It will be fine. I have all the time in the universe. And what is even more crazy, because we talk about the fact that coincidences are not really coincidences, it's because it's in your energy field. I had literally written on a post-it note from doing another course this week, I have all the time in the world. And I'd stuck it because that was the theme of the week's course. And I'd stuck it there and thought I need to live by that. Yeah. And then that came up on Saturday, which I just find really incredible and interesting. And but now those coincidences they're not so much of a surprise. It's like, oh yeah, of course, because I've already been told that 3 times by the universe. When am I going to listen?
Yeah, note to self, must pay attention.
Yes, absolutely. And something else I've just got to share. I've been working with a client a while now, and she may even be listening to this podcast. I obviously won't disclose who it is. But when we get to big things that she needs to kind of uncover, we lose connection. The Zoom breaks down. The other day, her TV was switching on and off. And she was there. I was watching her and she was like, hang on a minute, hang on a minute, hang on. And it literally, and it was like, wow, what is the universe trying to tell us here? What have we got to listen at? That breakthrough is coming. And it's just like the universe going, you're there. Keep going.
It's so true. I see that a lot when we're working with energy, how it will impact the systems that we have around us.
Yes.
I absolutely love it. Or if the subconscious is thinking, oh, you are so close, actually, I'm going to try and hide this, losing connection on Zoom and stuff like that.
Yes.
I see it all the time.
Yeah.
So, I'm completely used to it. Other people be like, oh, I've lost connection. I'm like, yeah, but it just means you're close.
Yeah, totally. And it's like you say, it's that subconscious trying to keep you safe. Actually, we're going to uncover something and that will take you to another level. So let's just stop right now. Let's not listen anymore, because we know we're safe here and we know that no one can hurt us because we're used to this situation. Or if I go outside of this situation, that's scary. And
it sounds crazy when you sort of think about it in context with what you want to create, whether it's losing weight, keeping the weight off, being healthy, having energy. And you're thinking, why is my subconscious trying to take me out when that's going to be helpful? But the subconscious is operating from a current paradigm, a current identity point. That pathway to the optimal weight and health or whatever it may be is outside of that current paradigm, that current pathway. So it thinks it's dangerous. It thinks it might be a man-eating tiger.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's kind of like, who am I? If I'm 20 stone and I want to be 10 stone, as much as I want to be there, who am I there? And how does that affect my friendships? How does that affect my relationship? Will my children see me differently? Will my friends still like me? It shifts the balance. And that's really frightening. I think as well, a lot of us have used weight to as an excuse not to do things. So like, when I lose weight, I'll learn to swim. Or when I lose weight, I'll get a better job. When I lose weight, I will come out with you, or we'll get married when I lose weight. Maybe I don't want to get married. So if I don't lose weight, I can stay in the safety of being in a relationship in case nobody else wants me. But actually, I know I don't ever want to marry you, so I'll just stay here. And it's not that we necessarily have all of those thoughts, but our subconscious is doing its job to keep us safe. It's just like, I'll just keep you here, because then you don't have to go down that path that's going to be really scary.
Like you were saying, we don't know that we've got those thoughts because our subconscious picks up learning and makes decisions about beliefs that we're going to start running without us consciously becoming aware of it. So we might have seen something on TV. Our mum might have said something to us when we were a child or as an adult, whatever it may be, all experiences that we've had along the way. The subconscious has decided, now I'm going to believe this to keep you safe, even though you didn't consciously go, yes, this is a truth for me. And that's the bit where we like, right, let's dive in and find out what the subconscious thinks is going on. What's decided that it's going to create for you.
Yeah, where does this come from?
Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. So what's coming up for you next? Where have you got any projects you'd like to talk about?
Oh, thank you. Well, we always have the Wealth Portal, which that's how we know each other. You go into. So the Wealth Portal I've now turned as an evergreen program, so people can come and join at any time that they choose. And obviously I do periods throughout the year, sort of officially open the doors and invite people in. So we'll be opening the doors again coming up towards the end of this month, which will be really exciting as well. So I just thought it was perfect timing for people who are wanting to get their vibration sorted so they can create the wealth consciousness that's going to take them to that next level in business, getting ready for 2022. Because I think towards the end of the year, often we kind of reflect on, people can think, I'm not quite where I thought I was going to be. For me, it's always if you've got your marketing sorted, because we all within business we've got to take action all the time, always. But the game changer will always be within the energy work that you do. I thought it would be a good time to open doors and see who's out there that's ready to step in to learn that. And then we'll be launching the Infinite Prosperity Collective as well towards the end of this year as well, opening the doors for that. So that's my business mastermind program where people come and work with me for a year, where I do combine the energy work alongside the business coaching as well, so that people can, I'm all about, we want it to be easy, to have flow, to have systems in place. And one of the things I'm excited about is for next year is, now I've got my business to the place where it is being able to take a week off every month, to have a month off in the summer, time off at Christmas, etc. And I really want everybody that's working with me to be able to be in that space, to have that confidence and certainty. They've got their business in that place where they can do that, because we want to have time with the people that we love, don't we? That's one of the most precious things.
Of course. I mean, when you don't work for yourself, to swap a 9 to 5 that's not a 9 till 5 to working from 5 in the morning till 11 at night, do we? Like you say, you want that time off.
Yeah, it's really, really important. So that's what we're up to in the coming months. And the certification program for the Helix Method, I've got 2 intakes for next year. So we're going to do an intake in spring and an intake in autumn.
Excellent. I know some of my ladies who I've already talked about are like, wow, I need to know more about this. So hopefully they're listening as well. And I know you do lots of masterclasses and things on your Facebook and things that people can just sign up to get a taster. So I will pop the links in the show notes. How do you prefer people to find you?
Oh, my website is great. www.louisahavers.com would be fab. And there's a 5-day free classes that I offer.
The 5-day class, somebody recommended that to me. And I think I was on day 3 and just thought, this is really powerful. This is like life-changing stuff. You just start kind of putting into practice what you talk about on those 5-day classes. And it's just like, whoa, okay. Wow. How does everyone else not know this? It's almost like being part of a secret club.
Yeah, I know.
And do you know what's really, I mean, I'm cool with it, but you try and tell everybody. And like the amount of friends that I invited to the next round that you did. And I was like, did you watch it? Did you watch it? And they're like, oh yeah. And you're just like, oh my goodness. Like, and then I'm like, it's clearly not the time for you to do this. And I'm okay with that. But you just, when you feel so passionate about something, you just want to help everybody, don't you? You want them to experience what you've experienced. So
oh, completely. And of course, it's subconscious creating resistance, because they'll change.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's funny how a few people will come in and they'll register a couple of times and then they do it and they're like, why didn't I do this before?
Yes.
Like,
yeah. Okay, brilliant. Well, thank you so much. That is it, ladies. That is the incredible Louisa Havers. And if you feel aligned to connect with Louisa, then please do reach out. As I say, I'll pop the links in the show notes. If you want a taster of how the Helix Method can help you with your weight loss goals, I will be introducing some of the practices that I have learnt through Louisa's Helix Method in my virtual retreat, which is next weekend, the 13th of November. And it's not too late to sign up. I do have a couple of spaces left. So do reach out quite quickly to be on board with that. So yeah, that's it for today. Thank you again, Louisa. It's been an absolute pleasure to chat with you. And I know we could go on and talk about different things all day. And just for our listeners, please do reach out, whether that's to me or to Louisa. I always love hearing from you. And it inspires me to know that you are making changes and that you are benefiting from these podcasts. I've got one lady on Instagram. I think she messages me after each one she listens to, saying, I've just listened to that and it's really inspiring. And that literally just makes me feel so warm and fuzzy inside that you can listen to these as often as you like. You can listen to them time and time again and you will hear something different. And finally, there are thousands of people out there who struggle with their relationship with food. So if you know somebody else that would benefit, please do share this podcast with them. And if you haven't done so already, don't forget to leave me a little review. So have a great week, guys. Thank you again to Louisa, and I will see you in the next episode.